ग्रेट हेगड़े जी, खुशबू सुंदर जी, कांग्रेस पार्टी के हमारे सब कार्यकर्ता, वर्कर्स, friends, brothers and sisters, thank you for this wonderful welcome. The Congress party has held this meeting, and you can see that the moment the meeting has started, a storm has begun. And I'm happy to see that even though you're getting wet and we are getting wet, we are not moving from over here. It is a special honor for me to be here with all of you in Tamil Nadu today. We have gathered here to celebrate one of our great leaders, Kamaraj Ji, and his birth anniversary. Some people here might still remember the feeling of hope and excitement as they went to school for the first time. Other people might remember the relief they felt when they got jobs and were able to live a better life because of Kamaraj Ji. But the moment I think of Kamaraj Ji, one story comes to my mind. Long ago, there was a king who wanted his son to learn how to be a good ruler. So he sent his son to the forest and said, go and live in the forest for 1 year. Listen to everything that you hear in the forest and come back and tell me what you heard. So, after 1 year, the prince went back to his father and his father asked him, so tell me, what did you hear? The prince said, I could hear the roar of the animals and I could hear them fighting. When he said this, the king said, you have not heard everything yet. Please go back to the jungle for 1 year and then come and tell me what you heard. The prince was surprised. He was surprised that he hadn't heard everything, and he went back to the jungle and he sat there for 1 year. He sat there listening for many days, but he could not hear any new sound. Then one day, when the prince was sitting under a tree, he began to listen closely. He began to hear the faint sounds he had never heard before. The more he listened, the clearer the sounds became. The prince thought, these must be the sounds the king wanted me to hear. When he returned to the kingdom, the king asked him, Prince, what did you hear? The prince said, when I listened carefully, I heard many sounds that I could not hear before. I could hear the sounds of the flowers opening. I could hear the sounds of the sun rays coming into the forest. I could hear the sound of the grass drinking the water. But the most important thing I heard was that the more I listened, the more I heard. The king turned to the prince and said, it is necessary for a ruler to hear everything around him. It is necessary for a ruler to hear everything around him. Not just the loudest sounds, but the silent, the faint one, the not so strong one. It is important for the leader to understand the feelings and opinions of every single person, the strongest and the weakest in the state. Friends, I admire Kamaraj Ji because this is exactly what he did. He listened to every single voice in Tamil Nadu. And through education, the people of India and the people of Tamil Nadu could climb out of poverty. So he built schools and the children began going to them. But then he noticed that some children were not going to these schools. So he went to the parents and he listened to the parents. He asked them, why are your children not going to school? The parents said, Kamaraj Ji, the children are not going to school because the schools are too far away from us. There are not enough schools. We are afraid of sending our children to walk so far to go to the schools. So Kamaraj Ji built more schools. He built schools in cities, in towns, and in villages. In the 9 years that he was chief minister, Kamaraj Ji built 13,000 schools. That is almost 4 schools every day of his time. But Kamaraj Ji did not stop listening over there. He went back to the parents, and when he saw some parents still not sending their children to school, he asked them, why are you not sending your children to school? He said, I built so many schools in the state. Why don't you want to go and study in them? He asked the children. And the children said, and their parents said, it's great that you built all these schools, but we have to work so that our parents can feed us. How will they feed us if we spend time in school? And then Kamaraj Ji realized that if he was able to provide food in the school, the parents would take their children Samrajji. When people thought of Tamil Nadu, they used to think of progress, they used to think of opportunity. They thought out of our children in villages and towns who are not working but going to school and getting a meal there.